Hey everybody, Adam Savage here in my cave with, I guess, a history lesson and kind of a present day nostalgia dive. As most of you know, before I had the show Mythbusters, I was a special effects model maker in film and television for about 15 years, finishing up with about a 6-year stint at Industrial Light and Magic in their model shop, which was absolutely like going to heaven and graduating and getting what I thought then was a PhD in making stuff. But all of us have moments early in our careers where we caught a glimpse of what was possible, where we met an early mentor who took us to different places. And for me, one of the first times I got to work with someone I considered a genuine hero was I worked on Home Alone 3. And it was a very memorable movie. I worked on some remote control cars for Home Alone 3 for the art director and production designer, Nilo Rodi-Jamero. Nilo Rodi-Jamero is perhaps most famous for designing Boba Fett's primary ship, the Slave One of my favorite ship designs, specifically because it takes off and then goes sideways, has chairs. I mean, just everything about it is kind of resetting your expectations of what a spaceship is like. And that's one of my favorite things that the Star Wars movies do. When I worked on Home Alone 3 with Nilo, we had lots of chances to talk, and Nilo is the first person to tell me to get obsessed with Hayao Miyazaki. He sent me to the video store in Japantown where I bought a Japanese language version of Laputa, later known as Castle in the Sky. And the first time I saw Castle in the Sky was in Japanese, and as Nilo pointed out to me, it doesn't matter. The whole plot is so clear to you, whether or not you can hear or understand the words the characters are saying. That's the power of Miyazaki's filmmaking. Nilo has designed and executed so many more amazing objects. Here's some pictures of some of the stuff we've covered in the past. And the reason we covered him in the past was because he auctioned off a bunch of original drawings with the prop store, and we covered it here on the channel. And one of the thank you gifts I got for that was this sketch made by Nilo in 2018 of a rough design of a speeder bike. And I think this was one of the rough designs, or it's a mod of a rough design, literally from Return of the Jedi. That is a trooper on there. And I love this. And I said at the time, man, I look at this, and having worked for Nilo, having been given drawings by Nilo, and by the way, actually, in being given drawings by Nilo, this was the remote control car body I made. I'm not kidding. I think 16 of these for Nilo for Home Alone 3. All of these separate pieces were made and cast and molded and painted, and there were lights. These are actually mag lights. The whole thing lit, and it installed on the body of a standard remote control car. At the very last minute, production chucked this idea, and they went totally with a normal store-bought car. This is the only evidence I have left of that project, is this vacuform master that I saved for myself. But having worked on drawings and designs of Nilo's, when I saw this, I thought to myself, I would really like to build that. And then I got a call from my friend Dave Fogler. Dave Fogler was a model maker who worked with me on episodes 1 and 2. He predated me at Industrial Light and Magic and stayed long after I left, moving eventually into CG, where he designed the mechanics for the transformations of all the Transformers for all of the Transformer films, becoming finally effects director of the most recent Transformers film by Michael Bay. And what Dave Fogler called me up and told me was, dude, you worked for Nilo? I worked for Nilo. And apparently worked for him right around the time I was working for him. So I picture Nilo like finding these two gifted young model makers. Yes, I'll describe myself back then as gifted. I totally was. And so was Fogler. And like fomenting some work out of them, which I think is lovely. And in fact, it turns out that Dave Fogler actually built a model of this very speeder for Nilo. And recently he came to a poker game I had here at the cave. And at the poker game, he saw this in my bathroom. And the next time he came for a poker game, without telling me, he installed this model on the bathroom wall right underneath that photo, which I'm so moved by. I love the cheek of drilling into my wall, it's completely welcome. He knows me, and it says, thanks for the poker, Mr. Savage, Dave Fogler, 2023. There is actually a video of Dave putting this together on his channel, Dave Fogler Cinedrome. We'll include a link in the comments below, in the description, sorry. We'll include a link in the description. Really, what I think should happen is that Dave should come here and we should finish this model and turn it into the actual speeder that Nilo designed. But we'll see if we get that done. I just wanted to see this show and tell, this wonderful bit of nostalgia. And this is, I've built so many models like this, out of Ren shape, with little details called out. Nilo clearly loves this sort of Citroën type of metalworking line, because you can see it. You can see it here. And you can see this does not feel too dissimilar from a Citroën. We all have our design aesthetics that we lean towards, and it's nice to get to know a little bit of Nilo's aesthetic on the ground working for him. Still one of my all-time favorite designers. And I love having this in my collection, and I really appreciate it, Dave. Thank you, sir. Thank you guys for joining me for this quick and dirty show and tell. I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, Adam Savage from Tested here. If you've ever seen the 6-inch ruler in inches and centimeters on my forearm and wanted one of your own, but you didn't want it to be permanent, well, today's your lucky day. You can now buy temporary tattoos of my measuring stick, my measuring forearm, at tested-store.com. Comes like this, goes on in about 30 seconds with a little water. The instructions are on the back. It comes off with rubbing alcohol, and hopefully it warms you up to the idea of permanently attaching a measuring device to your body, because I use mine every single day.